Hi everybody, welcome to NuttX channel. Today I'll explain how to run external program on NuttX. NuttX supports the ELF file format. This is the same file format used on Linux and other Unix to run programs. NuttX supports at least 3 options to run the external ELF file. The first and most complete option is using the global symbol table. This is a kind of lookup table where you have the function name and the address where this function is located in the memory. Using the complete global symbol table, we can run any external program. The drawback of this approach is we need to have all the NuttX functions compiled and included in the final firmware. So it will use a huge flash memory space in your firmware. The second option is using the partial symbol table, where you have only the function used by your program. The drawback of this approach is that you need to know what functions you use in your final program, and you need to declare and include this function in the NuttX firmware. The third option doesn't use the symbol table. It just links the ELF file to the function address in the memory. The drawback of this approach is if you change the firmware in the board, the external program will stop to work because the functional address will change. This way, every time you change the NuttX firmware, you need to compile again your external program. I will demonstrate how to run an external program using this third option. So, let's get started. Open the Linux terminal. Enter inside NuttX space, NuttX, execute make dist clean to clear previous configuration. Execute the board configuration, tools, configure.sh, stm32, f4, discover/nsh. Execute make menu config and select the option needed to run the external program. Make menu config. We will run the program from the external USB flash driver. So you need to select the option to get the USB flash driver working. If you don't know how to do that, please watch this video explained, and I will speed up the video. I enabled the options to get USB flash drive working. Now we can select the options to get the external program working. Enter inside System Type and select the option Exclude CCM SRAM from the heap. If we don't enable this option, the application will crash when you try to run it. So, we can exit. Now go to binary loader, enable support path variable, and change the initial path value to /bin. Also select the option enable the ELF binary format. We can exit, enter inside library routines, program execution options, select enable execl execv POSIX spawn support, deselect the have symbol table. We can exit again, enter inside application configuration, examples, and enable the Hello World example, because we need the printf function. One way to force the NuttX firmware to include it is enable the Hello World example. Exit, go to NSH library, select the enable execution of program files, and select the option Have Architecture Specific Initialization. exit, exit again, and finally exit and save. Execute make to compile the source code. The source code was compiled. Now we can flash the firmware inside the board. Execute OpenOCD. We need to download the external Hello World example. I will put the link in the video description. So click here to download the example. Save it. Extract the file. Now we need to execute make export to create the NuttX export zip with all the functions the add-on example needs. We need to copy the NuttX export zip file to the add-on folder. Copy NuttX export desktop add-on. Enter inside this folder and decompress the zip file. Unzip NuttX export.zip. Move it to NuttX export 7.25. Execute make to compile the hello example. Okay, it is compiled. Now copy this hello world to USB flash drive. Push the USB flash drive in the board. Connect the USB serial adapter and execute minicom. Reset the board. ls/dev. OK, the USB flash drive device file is here. If you run hello, it will run the internal hello example. Now if you mount the SD card to /bin and run the hello again, it will run the external program. So basically that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you are not subscribed to NuttX channel, please subscribe and click in the bell icon to receive notifications when I post a new video. See you. Bye bye.